Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. My name is Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. I am coming to you live from Walter Brown Arena on the campus of Boston University in Boston, Massachusetts. Here to bring you live coverage of tonight's high school varsity boys hockey contest between the visiting Mountaineers of Wachusett Regional High School and the hosting Brookline High Warriors. Folks, we are slated for an 8 p.m. puck drop here tonight, an unusually late start here at Walter Brown, but we're getting things started a little early on this stream for one very special reason, and that special reason is that it is, in fact, senior night for the Brookline High boys hockey team. So in a few minutes, they're going to come out and do the pregame senior night ceremonies honoring Brookline's 5 boys hockey seniors. Those being Vivon Suberwall, Jongwoo Baek, Aton Kate, Greg Eptekman, and Captain Owen Lacey. Can see them getting set up there, so that's just why we're starting this a little early. Make sure we get the pregame ceremonies. So it'll be a little bit of a slow start to this particular stream. I know we usually get started, talk about the game, talk about, give the rosters, things of that nature. But I realize we're starting a little early, not as many people tuning in yet, so just going to take it easy for the time being as they get set up. And if nothing else, I'll take an extra minute just to give an extra shout out to our local sponsor for tonight's game, as this broadcast is brought to you in part by Brookline Proven, your local source for home improvement contractors. BHS sports parent Paul Hom and his team can do anything from remodels to handyman honey-do lists and even snow and ice removal during these colder winter months. They live in Brookline, they work in Brookline, and they know just what a Brookline home needs. Visit brklnproven.com or text Paul at 617-352-8829 to find out more and discuss the scheduling, pricing, and specifics of the services your home needs. Once again, that's brklnproven.com or text 617-352-8829. And thank you again to Brookline Proven for sponsoring this broadcast. And as always with our local sponsors, you can see all that information down in the bottom center of your screen, as well as down in the description section of the video down below. Well, they got the red carpet and the balloons set up out there, as you can see, for our pregame senior night ceremonies, which should get started any minute now. Brookline will be honoring their 5 seniors, Greg Eptekman, Jongwoo Baek, Aton Kate, Owen Lacey, and Vivon Suberwall. And tomorrow, we'll be back here at Walter Brown Arena for the Brookline Girls Hockey Senior Day game against King Philip as the Brookline girls hockey team will be honoring their lone senior Clara Tebow tomorrow. So be sure to track down the stream link for that game so you don't miss that one. Looks like they got the senior families congregating around the home team bench. And so they'll likely be getting this pregame senior night ceremony started soon. And fans, remember, if at any point throughout this broadcast there is anything you'd like to say, I encourage you, as always, to say it in the live chat here on YouTube or by sending me an email. You can see my email down in the bottom right corner of your screen. You know, could be anything as simple as Go Brookline or Go Warriors. Maybe a shout out to a player who's a family member or a friend, especially tonight if you want to shout out your favorite senior here on senior night. That'd be a fun thing to do. Sometimes folks let us know where they're tuning in from. As I know, we got some regulars amongst our boys hockey audience that I believe tune in from Florida, from Tampa, Florida, I believe, to be specific. Or yeah, I think it's Tampa, Florida. I've got, between all the different sports I cover, there are some different fans from different parts of the country and some even different parts of Florida there, and sometimes even different countries. So it can be really fun to hear about how far this fan base expands, how far this Brookline High hockey family expands all over the world through these live streams. That can be a lot of fun. And then, of course, if there are any technical difficulties with the stream, if the video's not coming through good, or you think the brightness is too bright or too low on the camera, or if the audio is not coming through well, if you think it's set too high or too low, or if it's just not coming through at all, you know, don't be afraid to speak up and say something. It might be something I don't notice on my end, and it might be something that's an easy fix. I mean, there's always a chance that it might just be something, you know, that unfortunately might be wrong on your end as opposed to on mine. But even still, it doesn't hurt to speak up and say something, because then, you know, we can figure out whose end it's on by having other fans comment and be like, oh, yeah, I'm having that problem too. Or, oh, no, everything's coming through fine on my end. You know, it just helps us diagnose the problem if there's a problem. I don't expect any problems because generally we have some pretty good working streams here at Walter Brown, but you never know. All right, for now, we're waiting for this senior night ceremony to get started. I'm going to take a bit of a break here, mute the mic so we don't have any copyright problems with the music playing right now. But I will be back once our senior night ceremony gets started, so don't go away. All right, looks like we got some players coming down the tunnel for Brookline. And it looks like the non-seniors are... Oh, I see what's happening here. The non-seniors are going to line up, and they're going to have the seniors come out of the Zamboni gate. All right, that should look cool. Now, I don't know if the PA announcer is going to... I think the PA announcer is going to take over and announce the seniors one by one once they're ready, but for right now, they're still playing the music. Once again, this is the Brookline High Boys Hockey Senior Night game. The Warriors hosting the Mountaineers of Wachusett Regional High School. That game will take place after our pregame senior night ceremonies, which are set to start soon. This senior night ceremony honoring Brookline's 5 boys hockey seniors: Greg Eptekman, Jongwoo Baek, Aton Kate, Owen Lacey, and Vivan Suberwal. All right, there's the PA announcer. Coming through the first senior for Brookline, number 6, Greg Eptekman. The next Brookline senior coming through, number 15, Aton Kate. PA announcer going a little too fast. He's got to slow himself down. Give the players the opportunity to get their family photos first. But they already sent up number 7. The next senior, number 7, Vivan Suberwal. Yeah, see, it's kind of a crowded path. Parents got to, like, go in and out and walking on less than secure surface. And next up for Brookline, their senior backup goalie, number 33, Jong-Woo Beck. And while I say backup, he has been vaulted into starting duties following an injury to Evan Gerber. And he performed valiantly in a big-time win for the Warriors over rival Newton North last week. And finally, Brookline's senior captain, number 21, Owen Lacey. All right, that was the pregame senior night ceremony for Brookline. Once again, honoring the 5 Brookline High boys hockey seniors: Greg Eptekman, Eitan Kate, Vivon Suberwall, Jong-Woo Beck, and Owen Lacey. So gathering for one last photo, and then likely we'll be getting this next one started. You know, there's a lot that can be said about each of these individual players, and I'll take some time to say that after the game is over. But, you know, quickly summing it up, like I said before, Jong-Woo Beck, a backup goalie, his first year on the varsity team here this year, and got, you know, really thrown in the deep end late in this season as Evan Gerber suffered an unfortunate injury last week in a big game against rival Newton North. And Jong-Woo Beck came in, allowed just 1 goal through 2+ periods to secure a huge win for the Warriors. So he has shown that he can step up, you know, when the stage is biggest and the lights are brightest. And while he may not have a ton of varsity minutes to his name, what varsity minutes he's got have been big and impactful. So hats off to Jong-Woo Beck for a great career. And then Vivon Suberwall, I think this is just his 2nd year on the varsity team. And, you know, last year he was, you know, kind of one of those end-of-the-bench guys. He would come in on occasion, didn't get a ton of minutes. But, you know, he's built his way up like a lot of these guys have, you know, built their way up from JV to varsity to low-end varsity to, you know, more consistent minutes. And even in a year where, you know, there's been a lot of shuffling around, especially of the forward lines, Vivon Suberwall has made the most of the time he's gotten and, you know, carved out a role for himself on this team here in his last year as a Brookline Warrior. So hats off to Vivon Suberwall. And then Greg Eptekman, I think this is his 3rd year on varsity. He started off being, like Subberwall, one of those guys that was just kind of the end of the bench, just, a guy that me as a simple announcer only noticed for, oh, that's an interesting name, but I never really call it or anything because he doesn't get much playing time. Then last year, Eptekman really started stepping up, getting some regular minutes, along Brookline's about third forward line, building a reputation for himself as a bottom six forward scrapper kind of guy. Wasn't going to generate a ton of points, but, he was going to fulfill his minutes well on that third line. And then this year, following the graduation of a lot of key guys, he was asked to step up in a big way, and watching his game grow over these past few years has truly been spectacular as he really, grew his abilities, not just in his physicality and his strength, but also in his stick handling and his speed, becoming one of the better transition players on this Brookline team, helping to provide some stability as they've really searched for their offensive identity this season. He's been a big piece of veteran stability for this team this season. Hats off to Greg Eptekman for a great career. And then Eitan Kate, I think also his third varsity season with Brookline, and he has really shown great abilities as really a two-way guy. Whatever role Brookline has asked him to fulfill, whether it was on defense or at forward, he's stepped up and fulfilled that spot, provided a spark wherever he was on the ice. The kind of versatile player that coaches love to have and love to be able to count on. That's what Eitan Kate has been. Hats off to Eitan Kate. And then last but certainly not least, the captain, Owen Lacey. A guy who was becoming a key depth piece on Brookline's second forward line, I think, as a sophomore. But then his season got cut short due to injuries. Last year stepped up, became a much more consistent piece on Brookline's offense, but, still a secondary scorer behind a lot of the team's seniors. And then following a lot of graduations, much like Eptekman, he was asked to step up in a big way this year, and he has proven himself as, a guy who can step up in that kind of tough situation. He's been a key goal scorer for Brookline in a lot of big games, had 2 goals in that big win over Newton North, had the game-winning score in Brookline's comeback win against Lincoln Sudbury for their first win of the season. Had some key goals for them in their junior Beanpot win. He's been a clutch performer on offense throughout the season. He's proved more than worthy of having that captain's C on his chest this season. Hats off to Owen Lacey for a great high school hockey career. And now with both teams out on the ice, we see the Wachusett Mountaineers warming up here on our right in their green jerseys with black jersey numbers. As we're getting ready to warm up here, Wachusett coming into this one with a record of 15 wins, 1 loss, and 1 tie. They lost 3-2 to Needham back in December, tied Shrewsbury 3-3 early in January, but have won all the rest of their games. I might turn down the brightness on my camera just a smidge. Yeah, I think that looks a little better. Anyway, Wachusett coming in with a strong win-loss record, ranked 16th in the MIAA power rankings. Brookline, meanwhile, coming in with a record of 5 wins, 12 losses, and 2 ties. They were ranked 34th in the most recent power rankings that came out yesterday morning. Brookline still trying to fight to get into a playoff spot, but they're going to need a big win here against Wachusett if they want to even have a chance to get back into the playoff picture here. Let's quickly go through the roster, starting here with the Brookline Warriors. Going in order of jersey number for Brookline, first off, we have a junior, number 3, Ricky Ace. Next, a sophomore, number 4, Alejandro Marrero. A junior, number 5, Waylon Slavin. A senior, number 6, Greg Eptekman. A senior, number 7, Vivon Suberwall. A junior, number 8, Corey Toe. A junior, a freshman, number 9, Easton Slavin. A junior, number 11, Oliver Melton. A junior, number 12, Teddy Sheridan. A freshman, number 13, Colin O'Connor. A junior, number 14, Preston Bayless. A senior, number 15, Aton Kate. A junior, number 16, Morris May. A junior, number 17, Jameson Young. A sophomore, number 18, Ilmari Ipirauto. A senior, captain, number 21, Owen Lacey. A sophomore, number 22, Max Kagan. A sophomore, number 23, Harrison Platt. A freshman, number 26, Emery Ritzenthaler. A sophomore, number 27, Milo Parks Cohen. A sophomore goalie, number 30, Evan Gerber. And a senior goalie, number 33, Jong Woo Beck. Head coach of the Brookline High boys hockey team is Mark Marfione, with assistant coaches Brian Colella, Shane Devlin, and James Redding. And as you can see from the scoreboard cam in the bottom left corner of your screen, our pregame clock has run out. Our warm-ups are over, and we'll soon get our starting lineups, national anthem, and then the opening puck drop. All right, we're about to get things started here in the first of 3 15-minute periods here in this varsity high school boys hockey contest between Brookline and Wachusett. Brookline bringing a near all-senior starting lineup here for senior night. Jongwoo Beck between the pipes as Evan Gerber still recovering from his injury. And also a nice opportunity here on senior night. Eitan Kate at the blue line alongside the only non-senior in the starting lineup for Brookline in Waylon Slavin. And then an all-senior forward line of Owen Lacey, Greg Eptekman, and Vivon Suberwall. Might see them shuffle back to more normal forward lines as the game goes on. But for now, a nice chance to honor the seniors here by getting them the start. For Wachusett, their starting netminder will be number 1, Kevin Shaw. And it looks like their captain, number 17, Cody Penniman, taking the face-off against Owen Lacey, and it goes way down deep in the Brookline end as we get this one underway. A quick attack by Wachusett, but they can't find the pass in front of the crease there. A pass finds Penniman, shot is saved by Beck. Puck's cleared out by Brookline. Eptekman tries a pass, poked by number 6, Colin Carlson, to disrupt that one as Wachusett whips it into the Brookline end. Eitan K trying to take it, but it's stolen away. A pass deflected. Pass was trying to find number 9, Travis Laidlaw in the slot there, but broken up. Brookline couldn't quite clear it out. Wachusett keeping up the attack. Now lifted up off the glass by Waylon Slavin. And not far enough for an icing as the Mountaineers corral it. Pass goes up to Laidlaw. Laidlaw lifts a high bouncing pass off the boards, chased down short of icing as that pass blocked and then covered up by Jongwoo Beck. Pass was blocked there by Preston Bayless to try and prevent the potential one-timer there. Wachusett coming out of the gates firing here in this one. Already setting up some potential scoring chances here, but no scores yet here in the first minute of play. Here's the face-off, and we got a whistle for, I guess, a false start on the face-off there. And it looks like the false start was on Brookline, which is very funny considering Wachusett won the face-off, and now Brookline wins the re-face-off. So, good penalty, I guess, or a good violation by Brookline, I guess, as they move the puck up ice. Eitan Kate walled off there. Puck's recovered by number 4, Jake Penniman. Sent around and now lifted out to the neutral zone. Knocked down by Oliver Melton, but corralled by the Mountaineers. Pass gets to number 3, Braden Allaire, but knocked away from him out to the neutral zone. Corralled by Jake Penniman. Penniman's pass up finds number 21, Caden Lane. Lane dumps it into the Brookline end. Corralled by Easton Slavin. Pass gets through to Eptekman. Eptekman manages to get one over to Teddy Sheridan. Sheridan dumps it into the Wachusett end. Eptekman gives chase while Brookline commits to a full change. Eptekman laying on the physicality to get that puck coming around the boards, but lost it in the scrum there. And now Wachusett with an odd man rush. Looking shot. Glove saved by Beck as it goes up into the netting for a dead puck. Only one defender going back on that one. I think it was Waylon Slavin, but he decided to cover the pass as number 11, Zach Hoadley, took the shot for the Mountaineers, stopped by the glove of Jongwoo Beck that time. Puck's pinned up against the corner. Now Waylon Slavin trying to clear, block there, but an extra push gets it out. This is Owen Lacey. Lacey gains the blue line. Long shot goes high off the glass. Suberwall chased it down and loops it around the boards. That attempted clear blocked by Eptekman. Brookline staying with their all-senior forward line as Eptekman battling, pinned up against the corner. Puck's lifted up in the air. Rare trajectory there, and a hard check along the boards by Suberwall as Brookline keeps fighting for it. And now coming out of the scrum is the Mountaineers. Backhand pass gets to Lucas Brousseau. Brousseau loops it all the way around as Brookline also committed to a line change. Waylon Slavin takes that pass after a bit of confusion, but now it's knocked back by the Mountaineers. Around the back, quick touch pass around the back. Back to the blue line. That pass missed. Pass sent by Carlson goes into the corner. Around the corner, battling for it. Pass goes back to Carlson. Carlson lost it to a poke check from behind by Toe. Toe absorbs the blow there, and it's pushed into the Wachusett end as Brookline commits to another line change. Wrapped around the boards by number 7, Eric Nordahl. Brookline keeping it in the attack end. Nordahl recovers again, sends it around the boards. Touch pass there through the neutral zone. They're flying up. Number 16 coming down the left side. Pass, nobody there in the slot to take that pass from Ryan Flaherty. Now Sheridan takes the puck, sends it up ice. Jamison Young's got a beat on it, racing after it. Pass back, missed. Taken away by Laidlaw. Carlson, the only man back on defense to stop Young that time. Laidlaw trying to get around Bayless. Tangled up, and the attempted pass, nothing there as Bayless goes flying into the boards, tangled up with Laidlaw on that play. Young sends it up high, gloved down by Carlson. Carlson around the back. Pass up, finds his man. Quick pass to the outside to Allaire. Allaire sends it to the middle. Weird ricochet, but could not be corralled by Caden Lane. Now taking it off the boards, coming around the back, pass back to the blue line. Shot blocked high by Young as he stops the shot from Ethan Bennett, number 12. That one goes up into the net. It'll be a face-off in the Brookline end here with 10:39 on the clock. 3 shots on goal so far for Wachusett. None for Brookline, as you can see on our scoreboard cam in the bottom left corner of your screen. Face-off, sent to the back end, chased down by Lane. Pass around to Allaire. Allaire tangled up with the defense. Brookline now trying to clear it out. Pushed out by Suberwall. A race back for the puck. Jake Penniman the first to get there, pursued by Uptekman and Suberwall. But out of the mess, Wachusett comes away with it. Long pass up the boards. Finds Lane. Lane leaves it for Penniman. Penniman trying to fight through, still has the puck. Penniman a chance, his shot goes wide. The putback stopped there by Beck, as that was number 24, Matthew Brousseau, trying to get that one through, no dice. Up against the boards, Lacey trying to move it out. Lane gets a shot, saved by Beck. Along the back, pass from Allaire blocks Brookline along clear, and that is going to go for icing. Brookline's defense holding up so far, but they have got to get something going on offense. Got to take some pressure off their defense and put some pressure on the Wachusett goalie, Kevin Shaw, who hasn't even needed to make any saves so far this period. Face-off won by Brookline. Melton lifts it off the glass, goes off the fingertips of a Wachusett defender. Pushed back into the neutral zone and whipped into the Brookline end there by number 10, Aiden Boyce. Puck ricochets, a backhander, stopped and covered up by Beck there. Wachusett quick to send the puck behind them with those backhanders. They up the pace of the game doing that. Really just a good display of their stick skills and their awareness of their teammates around them. 9:30 on the clock here in the first period. No score yet between Brookline and Wachusett. Off the face-off, won by Wachusett. Quick pass across. Blue line shot misses wide. Shot attempted by number 19, Owen Ambach. Pass now gets up to Jamison Young. Young blocked by the defense there. And out of the scrum, it's taken by Boyce, sent around the back. An attempted clear stop by Oliver Melton. Long shot is saved by Kevin Shaw, his first save of the night, as Oliver Melton with a nice recovery around the blue line, just getting a shot on goal there. We got our first note in the live chat from Judy Platt saying, "Let's go Brookline. Congratulations to all of our seniors." Thank you so much for tuning in tonight, Judy. Hope you enjoy the game. Offensive zone face-off for Brookline. Battling for it, Ricky Ace, pinning it into the corner. Several players in the scrum there. Teddy Sheridan sends it around to Harrison Platt. Platt, long shot, saved by Shaw. Loose puck! Oh, Teddy Sheridan almost got that one through the mess, but not quite. Puck blocked there in the neutral zone by Ippy Rauto, now taken by Greg Aptekman. Aptekman weaving around, shot saved by Shaw. Brookline starting to generate some pressure. Not the most high percentage looks so far, but they're getting things going. They're winning some 50-50 pucks. Good shift there. And we'll see if they can follow that up. Face-off won by Brookline. Corey Toe with it, but double-teamed there, and the puck looped around. The Mountaineers now on a rush. Off the boards, pass for Laidlaw. Lays out to get a pass through his teammate. Shot goes wide from Ryan Flaherty. Milo Parks-Cohen lifts it off the boards, gets out to the neutral zone. Recovered, I think, by Flaherty. Pass back, and now back up to the neutral zone as they dump it into the Brookline end. Beck just going to park it for Rauto. Rauto around the boards. Ricochets off the stick of O'Connor. Parks-Cohen couldn't take that one. And now it's recovered by Flaherty. Or no, by Penniman. Cody Penniman takes it into the Brookline end, but lost it to a check. Harrison Platt off the boards, blocked there by Jake Penniman. Attempted clear, stopped by Jake Penniman again. Brookline trying to take it through on the second effort, but no dice. Laidlaw now approaching. Backhand pass. Gets through to Flaherty. Flaherty, long pass across, finds a man. Shot goes wide. Up against the boards. The attempted clear stopped there. Inserted again by Flaherty. Into the corner, sent around the back to Cody Penniman. Penniman lost it to a poke check from Parks-Cohen. Trying to clear it out, but keeping it in. Pass goes back, backhander saved by Beck, but it's still loose. Oh, Beck never fully covered it up. And the attempt to clear blocked again by Wachusett. The long pass insert stopped by Brookline there, and they just barely get it out to the neutral zone. And Brookline a long clear they didn't need to do. Understandable instinct from Platt, but if Wachusett had touched the puck, they would have been offsides. So Brookline had a bit of a chance to clear that one out, but no dice there. Face-off won by Wachusett. Long shot saved by Beck. Shot attempted by Bennett that time. Alejandro Marrero trying to work the clear. Puck pinned up against the boards. Out of the mess, a shot attempt deflected high. Attempted there by Lane. Kate couldn't get it out. Now Waylon Slavin with it. Long pass blocked there by Bennett. And now Allaire pushing it into the Brookline end. Up against the boards. Young gets it out to Marrero. Tries to clear. Bennett couldn't block it. All the way through to the Wachusett end. Lifted high off the glass. Gets to Allaire. Allaire skating with it. Coming down the right side. Gets a pass back to Matthew Brousseau. Brousseau's pass intercepted by Young. Young across center ice, but lost it to the poke check there. Recovered by Brousseau. A pass to nobody as Wachusett commits to a line change. Waylon Slavin sends it back the other way. Recovered by Bennett. Pass kind of missed there. Around the back up, Tekman moves it around, but it's going to be recovered now by Lucas Brousseau. Lucas Brousseau sends it around to Hoadley. Bayless keeping it in the attack end for Brookline, but now being taken out by the Mountaineers. Pass across finds Lucas Brousseau. Brousseau, a shot kicked aside by Beck. Oliver Melton now with it. Lost it to a poke check. Bayless recovers. Bayless going to send it off the boards, and that's going to go wide of the net for icing. Five minutes and 8 seconds left here in the first period. Wachusett out shooting Brookline 7-3 so far, but no score as of yet. That attempted shot blocked down by Brookline. Bayless sends it off the boards. Ricochets over to Toe. Toe tried to pass to O'Connor, but just missed him. O'Connor tries a shot, pushed aside by the stick of Shaw, but then O'Connor recovers. Second shot saved by Shaw, and around the mess. They're fighting for it, knocked away. Corey Toe is in there trying to knock it home, but got outnumbered by the green jerseys. Melton, long shot, stopped by Shaw. Sent around the back now by Ambach. Couple of passes, finds Lucas Brousseau. He whips it into the Brookline end, just past center ice, so no icing. Taken by Bayless. Pass up and sent to the neutral zone now. Stopped there by Carlson, sent back into the Brookline end. Now being taken in, approaching pass, shot is in. Nice moves by the Mountaineers. And the goal knocked in by number 16, Ryan Flaherty, off a nice pass from number 17, Cody Penniman. Again, that quick-moving transition game from Wachusett, so lethal, and they make the most of it there, and they're trying to make the most of it again. Laidlaw, pass back. Cody Penniman, after the assist, sends one in. Too much fighting in front of the net, and they can't knock it home. But the puck is recovered by Flaherty. Flaherty shot. No goal as the net got knocked off its post. Too much chaos in front of the net once again. And so no second goal for Flaherty that time. Instead, they'll have an offensive zone face-off for the Mountaineers with 4 minutes left here in the first period. Quick shot from Cody Penniman goes high. Flaherty, long pass back. Shot knocked down right in front of the net. Now the shot walled off at close range by Beck. That was Cody Penniman coming in trying to knock that one home in the chaos, but Beck denies him that time. Easton Slavin sends it off the boards through the neutral zone. It's recovered by Penniman. Penniman gets it through the neutral zone into the offensive end, down into the corner. Scrumming for the puck. And it'll be Waylon Slavin coming out with it. Good fight from Owen Lacey on that one, as this puck is going to go for icing. Brookline's got to find a way to bring a stronger transition game here. That's been a big difference maker. Wachusett able to go end-to-end so quickly with the puck, including on the play that ultimately got them their first goal. And Brookline being forced to go for some desperate icing clears late here in the first period. .3:15 to go, 1-0 Wachusett leads. Face-off goes back. Shot is lost in the uniform of Toe, but then he takes it. Toe off the boards, gets it up to Young. Young stopped there by the defense of Jake Penniman. Last defender back to stop him, and Young couldn't deke him out. Rauto fighting for the puck. Into the corner. And it'll be Brousseau. Shot glove save by Beck. .244 on the clock. We got a note in the live chat from Steve Sheridan. Jen and Steve would like to shout out to Teddy Sheridan and the rest of the Warriors from Miami. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hope the weather's been better down there in South Beach. I know there's been some wildfires down there in Florida. Hope the air quality is okay wherever you guys are in the Sunshine State. Shout out to all of our Brookline fans down there as we get ready for the face-off. Sent around the boards there by Hoadley. Puck deflects high up in the air. Now scrumming for it up against the boards. Out of the scrum, lifted out to the neutral zone by Melton. Chased down by Ombach. Sent back to the neutral zone. Melton takes it. Melton lost it just across the blue line. Taken now by Boyce. Boyce sends it into the Brookline end. Around the boards. Hoadley Sending it around the back. Off the deflection, Melton. Trying to move it out. Young trying to help. Up against the boards. It's knocked all the way back to the Brookline end as Bayless takes it. Behind the net. Looking for a long pass. Finds Toe. Toe across to Kate. Kate long shot saved by Shaw. Now along the back. Nice check by Toe. Kate coming around the back. Trying to fit it in. Almost, but just barely stopped by Shaw. Man, Eitan Kate almost fit that in the tightest of spaces. He went in trying to see if he could reach in and poke it home. Wachusett understandably goes into secret service mode trying to protect their goalie. Turns into a little bit of extracurriculars at the end of the play, but, you know, nothing dirty either way on that play. And it'll be an offensive zone faceoff for Brookline with 1:35 left in the period. Face-off won by Brookline. Shot Waylon Slavin. Glove save by Shaw. Shot might have been too high either way, but still nice glove by Shaw on that one. Off this face-off, it's corralled now by Carlson. Quick pass up, quick pass across. Laidlaw now coming in. Tries a shot well covered by East End Slavin as the shot goes wide. Tekman tried to send it off the boards, but it got blocked. Waylon Slavin trying to come around the back. Being chased here. It's taken by Flaherty. Pass back. Corralled. Shot knocked down in front of the net. And that shot blocked by Easton Slavin. Attempted by Cody Penniman. Brookline trying to get it out, and they do. 1 minute left in the period as Carlson takes this one. Pass. Goes through the neutral zone, taken by Tekman. Tekman couldn't weave through the defense. And now pushing up with it, Flaherty. Flaherty back to the blue line. Carlson, long shot, glove, saved by Jungwoo Beck. .5 seconds left here. A 1-0 lead for Wachusett. Ryan Flaherty from Cody Penniman for the one score so far in this game. Face-off, one. Oh, and it's kicked in. That one, I think, went off the foot of Matthew Brousseau after the initial shot from Ethan Bennett. And so almost a bit of a soccer goal there. Not often you see a deflection like that off the back of the foot, change the trajectory. Not much that Jungwoo Beck could do about that. And in the closing seconds of the first period, Wachusett extends their lead to 2. Out of the scrum, Lacey trying to move it up in the closing seconds. No dice there. Bennett pass across. Now a pass lifted up to Allaire. Allaire across the blue line, pass back. Matthew Brousseau again absorbs the check, but kicks the puck aside to Allaire. Now gets it down through the mess. Goes back to the blue line. A long shot. Wouldn't have been in time anyway as the buzzer sounds. That is the end of the first period. Our score at the end of 1, the Wachusett Mountaineers 2, the Brookline Warriors 0. A high shot count overall in that period. 18 combined shots on net between the two teams as Wachusett doubles up Brookline on the shot count, 12-6. First goal for Wachusett scored by Ryan Flaherty, assisted by Cody Penniman. And the second goal scored by Matthew Brousseau, assisted by Ethan Bennett. As we go into the first intermission here, I remind you this broadcast is brought to you in part by Brookline Proven, your local source for home improvement contractors. BHS sports parent Paul Hom and his team can do anything from remodels to handyman honeydew lists and even snow and ice removal during these colder winter months. They live in Brookline, they work in Brookline, and they know just what a Brookline home needs. Visit brklnproven.com or text Paul at 617-352-8829 to find out more and discuss the scheduling, pricing, and specifics of the services your home needs. Once again, that's brklnproven.com or text 617-352-8829. And thank you again to Brookline Proven for sponsoring this broadcast. And once again, you can see all that information about Brookline Proven down in the bottom center of your screen, as well as in the description section down below. Also down in the description section, you can find some other helpful links. A link to the official Venmo account of the Friends of BHS Hockey Booster Club, if you would like to support this Brookline High boys hockey program financially. And also a link and phone number for our local charity spotlight, the Brookline Community Foundation. For over 100 years, the Brookline Community Foundation has been a trusted partner, supporting Brookline by investing in organizations and initiatives that help create opportunity and promote equity for everyone who lives, learns, works, and plays in our community. Among the foundation's many grant programs is the BCF Scholarship Fund for Brookline High School, which provides graduating BHS students with scholarships to help fund post-secondary education. Your help is crucial to supporting Brookline youth as they embark on the next steps in their educational journeys. Visit brooklinecommunity.org or call 617-566-4442 to learn more about the BCF Scholarship Fund for Brookline High School and how you can make a difference right here in Brookline. Once again, that's brooklinecommunity.org or call 617-566-4442. And again, all that information down in the description section down below. Wachusett 2, Brookline 0. Here in the first intermission, I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. I'm going to take a break and mute the mic and run a YouTube ad break. I'll be back with the second period. Stay tuned. Hello again, everybody. Back on the mic. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan here at Walter Brown Arena in Boston, Massachusetts. Here to bring you live coverage of the second period of this high school varsity boys hockey contest between the Brookline High Warriors and the Wachusett Regional High School Mountaineers. The Mountaineers have jumped out to a 2-0 lead over Brookline after one period. First goal for Wachusett was scored by Ryan Flaherty, assisted by Cody Penniman. And then they got a second score in the last minute of the first off a weird ricochet off the skate of Matthew Brousseau on an attempted shot by Ethan Bennett. Let's see if Brookline can answer back here in the second period. Face-off is fought for by Greg Aptekman, leaves it for Owen Lacey, and Lacey just ran out of room on the defense there. Aptekman into the corner with the puck now. Vivon Suberwall trying to come in and help out, but the puck's taken away by Ryan Flaherty. Flaherty gets stood up there by Eitan Kate. Aptekman kind of whiffed on his clear attempt there, and now coming through, a shot deflected wide. Now coming around the back, shot is put in. Wait, no, it wasn't. They said it didn't go in. Now this shot is saved by Jung Woo Beck. There was no goal there. I thought that one had gone in and ricocheted back out, but the officials say no. But now another chance, and laying out for it is Jung Woo Beck. And he ends up knocking the goal off its post. And so the play is blown dead. Wow, that last shot coming around the back, it must have like rung around the crossbar there and come back out. That is the most wild miss I have ever seen in a hockey game. Face-off won by Wachusett. Quick shot saved by Beck there. Shot attempted by Jake Penniman. Brookline disrupts it, gets it into the neutral zone. Jake Penniman takes it, lifts it, bouncing along, pushed aside by Beck. Around the back. Preston Bayless fighting out with it. Pass blocked and taken away by the Mountaineers. Matthew Brousseau shot missed wide. Around the back, it's a battle along the boards. Melton gets it up to Emery Ritzenthaler, taken away by Jake Penniman. Shot goes high and off the glass. Attempted pass blocked there by Brookline. Colin O'Connor barely gets it out to the neutral zone, but it's going to be taken back for an offsides. Brousseau across the blue line before Caden Lane could come back. Already 4 shots on net for the Mountaineers in the first minute and a half of this second period. Off the face-off, Brookline manages to kick it into the Wachusett end. Off the boards, it's corralled there by Boyce. Quick passing across. This is Hoadley. Hoadley gets it around the back just barely as Ippy Rauto loops it around. Eitan Kate muscles it out to the neutral zone. And now Boyce sends it off the boards up to Hoadley. Hoadley gives it back to Boyce. Pass back misses his target, looking for number 18, Patrick Valey. Puck ricochets back, taken by Vivon Suberwall. Suberwall got pinned to the boards, could not fight for it. The attempted clear, wall down by Brookline, battling for it, and it's going to be knocked out to the neutral zone. Skips past Rauto there into the Brookline end as Wachusett commits to a line change. And Vivon Suberwall almost had a chance for a rush there, but it goes off his skate, got away from him. Carlson sends a pass, ricocheting up. Laidlaw just barely stopped there by Waylon Slavin as Brookline was making a line change. Pass goes back long. Pass in front. Deflects wide of the net. Again, pass back to the blue line. Shot. Ricochets wide of the net. I actually lost track of that attempted shot by number 7, Eric Nordahl. Mountaineers coming around the back now. Pass deflects but goes back to Nordahl. Nordahl's shot goes wide of the net. Pass back to Carlson. Carlson sends it around, gets to Flaherty. Flaherty across Nordahl. Nordahl pass down, deflects. Kicked aside by Jungwoo Baek. Great reaction to the redirect attempt from Cody Penniman. But this is going to be icing. Well, it's been all Wachusett so far in this second period after the Mountaineers outshot the Warriors 12-6 in the first period. So far, it's been a 5-0 advantage Wachusett in shot count so far in the second frame. Off the face-off, quick shot goes high from Laidlaw. Another attempted shot goes wide off the stick of Kevin O'Keefe. Goes all the way around to the neutral zone as Wachusett dumps it back in. Bayless sends it off the boards, blocked by O'Keefe. O'Keefe pass up, finds Flaherty. Oh, Flaherty disrupted. Now a shot is in. Ryan Flaherty with his second goal of the game. Initially disrupted on the shot attempt, but the puck wasn't knocked away. And so Flaherty just managed to, on the second effort, get his stick on it, send it top shelf. And now Wachusett leads 3-0. .11:08 on the clock here in the second period. Off the face-off, Rauto lifts it into the Wachusett end, sent right back out, dumped back in by Brookline, but they have to retreat back to prevent the offsides. O'Keefe pass across to Ambach, now sends it up. Couple of passes, gets to Lane. Lane approaching, shot is in. Quick moves from Wachusett as they instantly score goal number 4. Caden Lane attacking that top left corner, making it 4-0 Mountaineers. Wachusett starting to skate away with this one as they now lead by 4. Face-off won by Brookline. Waylon Slavin sends it off the boards. Corralled by Wachusett. Pass across to Jake Penniman. Sends it up to Lane. Lane sends it around the back. Easton Slavin tried to leave it for Lacey, but it's taken away by Wachusett. Now Lacey recovers. His clear blocked by Matt Brousseau. Now Easton Slavin tries to clear, but it goes to Lacey. Taken back by Brousseau again. In the corner, Brousseau's pass almost got through to Lane, but intercepted by Aptekman. Aptekman trying to race through the neutral zone, but double-teamed there, and it's sent back into the Brookline end by Matt Brousseau. Waylon Slavin coming out of the back. Pass up, finds Lacey. Lacey whips it into the Wachusett end as Brookline commits to a forward line change. But Wachusett going to take advantage of that. Jake Penniman coming down the right side. Around the back. Weaving, pass back. Shot saved by Beck. Off the shot from Boyce. Again, Brookline has got to find some different gear in their transition game and their offensive game. As Wachusett wins the faceoff again, a shot saved by Beck. Rebound corralled by Brookline. Alejandro Marrero trying to take it the other way, and it goes up into the Wachusett bench. Bit of a late whistle from the officials. I think they lost track of it. Marrero going hard into the benches there, but he looks okay. It'll be a face-off at center ice, looks like, off of that dead puck. Face-off won by Brookline. Rauto sending it off the board, stopped down there by Jake Penniman. Penniman's shot blocked wide by Rauto. Recovered in the corner by Lucas Brousseau, but got outnumbered there. Hoadley trying to take it, but instead Rauto Comes out of the scrum, but lost it in the official skates. Brookline able to lift it out to the neutral zone. Taken back and lost briefly by Bennett. Bennett sends it around the back, and Shaw's going to have to cover it up. As somewhere off puck, Colin O'Connor sent flying on that play. That puck just took a weird ricochet off the boards and off the outside of the net, and Shaw had to come around and cover it up as no one was there to take it. Offensive zone face-off for Brookline. Bodies go tumbling for this one, and it is taken by the Mountaineers through to the neutral zone, but taken back by Kate. Pass up Sheridan. Sheridan kind of whiffed on his Pat's attempt there. Taken back by the Mountaineers. Shot goes high up into the net, attempted there by number 22, Luke Curton. Brookline still looking for their first shot on net here with 8.5 to go in the second period. Brookline gets it out to the neutral zone, but this might go for icing, and it will. That one I'm a little more okay with Brookline. They were at least trying to connect on a long pass. It didn't quite work, but, you know, it's a little bit more than just a desperation clear. You know, it's Brookline trying to do something, trying to get something moving. Face-off coming in the Brookline end here. Won by Wachusett. Carlson whiffed on his shot attempt there. Puck corralled by Uptekman. Couldn't quite clear it, though, as it's launched back in by Nordahl. Brookline gets it out to the neutral zone. Carlson with it. His pass does get through to Nordahl. Lifted into the Brookline end. Melton out to the neutral zone. Pushed forward by Uptekman. Being chased after by Suberwall. Uptekman recovers, and it's taken back by the Mountaineers. Lifted to the middle, pushed forward by number 25, who is not on the roster I found on Mass HS Hockey. Melton sends a pass back to Platt, over to Uptekman. Lost to a poke check, recovered by Cody Penniman. Deflects over to Penniman, sent right in front of the net, and Beck able to cover it up in the chaos. Face off, chased down by Laidlaw, pass finds a man. Looking around, Flaherty. Flaherty shot, kicked aside by Beck, recovered by O'Connor. Attempted clear, blocked down at the blue line. And now a shot off the post from Cody Penniman. O'Connor's pass, Easton Slavin wasn't ready for it. O'Connor recovers, sending it around the boards, taken by Flaherty. Flaherty leaves it for Laidlaw, who now leaves it for Cody Penniman. Penniman, pass back disrupted by Emery Ritzenthaler. O'Connor clears it out. Ritzenthaler trying to give chase, and stopped there by the defense of Bailey. Now Wachusett trying to work it out, pass too far for Flaherty, and that will go for icing. Wachusett has already nearly matched their shots on goal total from the entire first period. They've got 10 shots on net so far here in the second period. Brookline still looking for their first of the second frame. Face-off won by Wachusett. Pass goes around to Allaire. That pass misses lane. Taken by Matt Brousseau instead. Brousseau pinned to the boards there by Kate. In the chaos, Brousseau recovers it, and a shot saved at close range by Jungwoo Beck. Long shot in, saved by Beck again. Bayless sends it off the boards, out to the neutral zone. And it is going to be recovered by Wachusett's number 15, Kevin O'Keefe. Battling near the blue line. Kate Sends it across, looking for Young. Knocked away. Taken by Jake Penniman. Now Rauto takes it off the boards. Backhand pass. Young moves it along. And it's not going to move far enough for an icing. Stays in the Wachusett end as it's wrapped around the boards. Goes around to the neutral zone. Sent up to the Brookline end. Beck leaving it there for Rauto. Rauto sends it around. Corralled by Tekman in the neutral zone. Absorbs a hard check there from Boyce. Sent out to the neutral area again. Platt passes across to Rauto. Rauto whips it into the Wachusett end. Brookline with some numbers. Suberwall sends it around the back. Battling for it, and it's taken out there by Lucas Brousseau. Platt sends it off the boards. Off the ricochet, Lacey whips it into the Wachusett end again. Off a weird ricochet, Shaw parks it for Bennett. Bennett lifts it high, downed by Platt. Pass lost in the skates of Suberwall as he's in the middle of a substitution. Brookline's lucky they didn't get called for too many skaters there as Wachusett sends it into the Brookline end. Melton gives to Platt. Sent back down to the corner now by Wachusett. Off the boards, Tekman takes it. Through the neutral zone, pass blocked. Still scrumming for it, and coming out with it, the Mountaineers. Get it back to the neutral zone. Bayless takes it. Pass across Melton. Melton sending it up the line. Deflection, no icing. Bennett wraps it around. Misses his target. Taken by Rauto. And they're going to be called for too many skaters. Got to be careful when the puck comes around your area while you're subbing in and off. Rauto stopped the puck there while in the middle of a substitution. And because the guy he was subbing in for wasn't fully off the ice yet, I assume this is, they're going to have Oliver Melton serve this penalty in the box for a 2-minute minor. First penalty of the entire game here with 4:13 left in the second. What's been a relatively clean game so far. Brookline had 5 skaters out there. They forgot they're on the penalty kill here. Face-off won by Wachusett. Quick shot, saved by Beck. Put back, saved by Beck. Nice stop there from the senior netminder. Might be his best saves of the night so far. Now Eitan K trying to apply pressure on the shorthand. Not able to get there. Taken instead by Flaherty. Flaherty. Pass across, Laidlaw. Back to the blue line, knocked away. Corey Toe, breakaway on the shorthand, shot, score! Corey Toe on the shorthand, and Brookline gets on the board. How do you like that? Brookline, all their offensive struggles at even strength, and then it's at the shorthand that Corey Toe makes things happen. First shot on net for the Warriors in this entire second period, and they make it count. Corey Toe unassisted on the shorthand, and it's now a 4-1 game. And now another takeaway on the shorthand by Brookline. Greg Tekman trying to race up with it, but gets walled off there. Brookline still attacking here as now Carlson brings the puck down. Stopped by Easton Slavin. Slavin clears it out. Now taken in the corner by Jake Penniman. Sends it around. Long pass up to Lane. Lane gains the blue, trying to deke around, but stopped there by Harrison Platt. Bit of confusion on who's going to take the puck. Puck ricocheting around. And Greg Tekman, who lost his stick, tried to kick it, but it goes off his stick. Pass up, a shot blocked nicely there by Platt. Platt with a couple of nice stops here on the penalty kill. Brookline still playing physically here on the PK. Easton Slavin sending it up. Now pass across to Jake Penniman. He sends it up the line. Harrison Platt going to loop it around the boards as Wachusett commits to a line change. Brookline couldn't quite clear it out there. Platt lifting it high and out to the Wachusett end. Back at even strength here with 2 minutes to go as Brookline kills the penalty. A pass there, finds a wide open Flaherty. Flaherty approaching, pass just missed. Looking for Laidlaw there. Good defensive coverage by Brookline. Long clear chased down by Nordahl, but he lost his footing. Taken away by Marrero. Marrero's pass lost in the skates and sent out by Wachusett. Approaching now Cody Penniman, lost it to the poke check from Rauto. Rauto, the attempted clear, gets past Nordahl out to the neutral zone. Nordahl whips it right back in. 1.5 minutes to go here in the second. Long clear there from Rauto, and I think that'll go for icing. So while Brookline has still largely been dominated this second period, they can at least say they did not get shut out in this game here against Wachusett, thanks to the shorthanded score from Corey Toe. Off the face-off, Brookline going for a high clear and racing after the puck. Colin O'Connor, but couldn't get there first. Instead, it's taken by Cates. Cates got it in! Eitan Cates! He almost snuck one in the corner last period, and now he gets one through this period. What a wild score this one was. Let's look at that one again. Cates swooping in to take the puck, just trying to center it. I think it wound up going off the goalie's stick and ricocheting in. So Brookline has now cut their deficit in half off a couple of wild goals here in the second period. 4-2 now the score. Eptekman whips it into the Wachusett end. A minute left to play here in the second. Eptekman holding it in the corner. Pass couldn't get around. They couldn't clear it out. Lacey couldn't get it back in as it's out to the neutral zone. Off the boards, corralled by Toe. Toe sends it in. 40 seconds to go in the period. Wachusett trying to move it out, and a wild slap shot from Corey Toe goes wide. Brookline bringing the offense here, but now trying to bring it the other way is Boyce, stopped there by Melton. Lacey, pass to Bayless, 20 seconds left in the period. And now it's Lacey approaching, lost it to a poke check from Matt Brousseau. This puck lifted in, 10 seconds left in the period. This pass ricochets taken by Melton. Melton whiffed on the clear attempt, now gets it out, and this will bring the second period to an end. What a wild second period that was. Our score at the end of 2, the Wachusett Mountaineers 4, the Brookline Warriors 2. Well, the goal deficit the same as it was at the end of 1, but that almost got much, much worse for Brookline. Wachusett scoring 2 goals in quick succession early in the period. The first one was the second goal of the game for Ryan Flaherty. The second goal was scored by Caden Lane just seconds later, and it looked like things were just going to go from bad to worse to even worse for Brookline. But then the Warriors able to find some offense off the back of a penalty. A shorthanded score by Corey Toe to get them on the board. And then a wacky goal from Eitan Cates on this play here. Just trying to center the puck. Ends up going in off of a Wachusett player's stick. I think it went in off the goalie's stick, actually. 2 unassisted scores for Brookline, and this is where we stand at 4-2. During this second intermission, I remind you this broadcast is brought to you in part by Brookline Proven, your local source for home improvement contractors. BHS sports parent Paul Haum and his team can do anything from remodels to handyman honey-do lists. They live in Brookline, they work in Brookline, and they know just what a Brookline home needs. Visit brklnproven.com or text Paul at 617-352-8829 to find out more and discuss the scheduling, pricing, and specifics of the services your home needs. Once again, that's brklnproven.com or text 617-352-8829. And thank you again to Brookline Proven for sponsoring this broadcast. And once again, you can see all that information about Brookline Proven down in the bottom center of your screen, as well as in the description section of the video down below. You can also see in the description section the link to the official Venmo account of the Friends of BHS Hockey Booster Club, as well as a link and phone number for our local charity spotlight, the Brookline Community Foundation. But for now, it is the second intermission. Wachusett 4, Brookline 2. I'm Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. I'm going to take a break, mute the mic, and run a YouTube ad break. But I'll be back with the third and final period of this game. Stay tuned. Hello again, everybody. Back on the mic. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan, coming to you live from Walter Brown Arena on the campus of Boston University in Boston, Massachusetts. Here to bring you the third and final period of this high school varsity senior night boys hockey contest between the Brookline High Warriors and the Wachusett Mountaineers. Wachusett holds a 4-2 lead over Brookline despite a much more disparate 24-8 shots on goal advantage. The Brookline Warriors getting just 2 shots on net for the entire second period, but scored on 100% of them. It was a very weird second period. And now here we gear up for the third and likely final period of the 2025-26 season for this Brookline High boys hockey team. Brookline came into this one ranked 34th in the power rankings, and if they could magically vault themselves 2 spots up in the power rankings, they could make the playoffs, but it would be hard to do here as they trail by 2 in the last game of the season. Coming out of the face-off, Brookline pushing it into the attack end. Pass gets through to Owen Lacey, loops it around the boards, and almost cleared out now in the second effort. Wachusett gets it out. Long pass up, misses Laidlaw. No icing, though, as Brookline now takes it, tries to move it the other way. Ricochets through the neutral zone. Colin Carlson sends it up for Wachusett. Gets it up to Travis Laidlaw, who sends it up. And almost broken up. A shot from Ryan Flaherty goes high. Flaherty has scored 2 of Wachusett's 4 goals so far tonight. Coming around the back, looking for something. Loops it around, down to Cody Penniman. Penniman pass back and a shot. Whoa, almost snuck in there. A whistle. Blowing things dead after that shot from Colin Carlson. Oh, we've got a penalty. It's a trip call that's going to go against Brookline's Owen Lacey. So a 2-minute minor will be served by Lacey. Just the second power play overall of this night so far. As this one sent high off the glass. Eitan Kate whiffs on the attempt to clear there, but the pass kind of slightly off its mark as chased down in the corner. Pass back to Carlson, over for a one-timer from Ethan Bennett, blocked there by Kate. Harrison Platt fighting for the puck, sends it around the boards. Recovered by Carlson, sent back around the other way. Last time there was a power play, it was Brookline on the shorthand who actually managed to score. Shot from Bennett is in. A power play goal from Ethan Bennett. No shorthanded score for Brookline this time as Wachusett adds to their lead. Ethan Bennett, who got the assist on Matt Brousseau's goal in the last minute of the first period, now gets a goal of his own here in the third on the power play. Five to 2, the Mountaineers lead the Warriors. Faceoff goes deep in the Brookline end. Oliver Melton battling along the boards for it. This one deflecting through, and it's Greg Eptekman taking it through the neutral zone. Nice stick skills, but he gets knocked to the ground, and that is going to draw a whistle against Wachusett. How about Greg Eptekman fighting in the transition game and drawing a penalty, earning the Warriors their first power play of the night. It'll be a tripping call against number 21, Caden Lane. So now the question, can Brookline answer back with a power play score of their own? Off the face-off, a quick clear from Wachusett. Brookline's had their share of struggles on the power play this season. Let's see what they can do with this one. Melton pass to Aptekman. Aptekman across the blue line. Heading down the left side. Around the back. Pass back to Melton at the point. Across and back. Melton looking. Back to the point. Aptekman. Back down to Melton. Melton back to Aptekman. Aptekman inserts. Saved by Shaw. Oh, we got two players tangled up on their skates. Some slight equipment difficulties as Eitan Kate and Owen Ombach were tangled up there, had to untangle themselves. We go back to the face-off circle. Face-off won by Wachusett. Carlson tries to clear, blocked there by Lacey. Aptekman recovers, backhand pass right in front. Oh, knocked around, and it could not go in for Brookline. Now Wachusett trying to take it the other way, and a hard shot into the boards by Aptekman stops the rush there. Melton coming out the back, leaves it for Toe. Pass up to Aptekman. Aptekman pass up to Lacey. Lacey approaching, shot blocked, and it's going to be covered up by Shaw. Set up another offensive zone face-off for Brookline with 57 seconds still left on the penalty. Face-off goes back to Toe. Pass up. Lacey got away from him. Aptekman recovers. Aptekman holding it at the point. Gives to Melton. Melton approaching. Melton shot. Missed it wide. Recovered by Aptekman, but Toe slipped and fell, and his pass could not get there. Cleared out by the Mountaineers. Melton taking it around the back. Going to send it around to Aptekman. Aptekman trying to pick up speed. Barely gets it up to Lacey. Lacey across the blue line, but lost it. Mountaineers lift it out. Less than 20 seconds left on the penalty. Brookline starting to struggle a bit, moving the puck up. Toe gives to Aptekman. Back to Toe. Just 5 seconds left on the power play as that pass misses. Taken back by the Mountaineers as we're back at even strength. Brookline with a couple of good chances, but they cannot capitalize on the power play. Matt Brousseau weaving in, collides with Owen Lacey. Good defensive hit from the captain there. A high lift there for the Warriors. Gets out to the Wachusett end. The attempted clear blocked by Kate. But Wachusett does get out to the neutral zone. The attempted pass from Sheridan intercepted there by Matt Brousseau. Brousseau shot saved by Beck and covered up. So Brookline able to generate some pressure in that power play, but were not able to find the back of the net, and they found their familiar transition struggles late as time was running out on that power play clock. Off the face-off, it's Emery Ritzenthaler taking it, but it's stolen back by Boyce. Boyce's shot saved by Beck, and he covers it up again. Emery Ritzenthaler is a player who's shown a fair amount of promise at times throughout this season. The freshman, mostly playing as a bottom six forward this year. Might be interesting to see what he can do next year. Off the face-off, Lucas Brousseau sends it back to Ethan Bennett. Bennett's shot saved by Beck. Recovered and looped around. Lost there. Taken by Easton Slavin. Long pass up. Goes off the stick of Yvonne Suberwall. Goes just wide of the net, but no icing as Suberwall tried to send a pass back, but it was broken up. Wachusett taking it the other way. Lucas Brousseau. Pass back. Shot. Redirected wide. Nice block there by Alejandro Marrero, disrupting the shot by Boyce that time. Pass through to the crease, broken up by Brookline. Ritzenthaler couldn't get the pass off. Boyce trying to weave around, stopped by Waylon Slavin, who lifts it off the glass into the neutral zone, but it went into the Brookline bench, and that'll be a dead puck. 9 minutes and 40 seconds left in this one, and what it will likely be the last game of the year for Brookline. Off the face-off. Puck chased down by Ippy Rauto, sends it off the boards. Taken back by Wachusett, pass up, and an extra pass broken up by Marrero there. Good defensive stop. Sent back the other way by Wachusett. And coming down the right side, disrupted by Platt, was Cody Penniman. Marrero lost his footing. Platt sends it around, taken. Left for Flaherty. Flaherty coming around the back. Sends it down and around. It's taken by Laidlaw. Around the back pass, misses, but cannot be cleared by Brookline. Give it back up to Flaherty, and Ryan Flaherty has the hat trick with another top shelf shot there. 6 goals for Wachusett, half of them coming off the stick of Ryan Flaherty. Six to 2, the Wachusett advantage. Here with 8:45 left to play. Face-off one by Brookline, sending around a hard check there by Eric Nordahl, and Greg Eptekman is hurt. Oh no. That was a hard shot there from Eric Nordahl on Eptekman, and Eptekman, ooh, he's struggling to get up. That looked like it might have been like a whiplash kind of landing. Not sure whether his head hit the ice or not, but regardless, might have been a degree of whiplash there. Pure speculation, but you see folks taking a look at him. He's taking his helmet off now, and they're going to examine him to see if he has signs of a head injury. Man, this is not what you want to see. It's not what you want to see on any game for any team or any player. But man, especially not for a senior playing in the last game of his high school career. Greg Eptekman heading out the tunnel now to be examined by the training staff. Dang. Man, that stinks. I hope Greg Eptekman's okay. Play continues with a neutral zone face-off. Wachusett takes control and dumps it into the Brookline end. Puck's knocked free and recovered there by Toe. Pass up, finds Kate. Kate, long shot is saved by Shaw there. 8 on Kate, the lone senior for Brookline, who has scored here in their senior night game. Had that wacky goal from the corner in the second period. Face-off won by Brookline. Bayless long shot saved by Shaw. Looped around the boards. Ritzenthaler couldn't quite stop it. And now Wachusett rushing the other way. Racing up with it is Allaire. Passes around the back. Battling along the boards. Brookline almost came out with it, but it's knocked away. Pass from Lane gets to Allaire. Brousseau whiffed on the one-timer. And instead it's recovered by Bayless. Bayless taking it the other way himself. Gains the blue line. Sends it down to the back. Looped around by Bennett. Ritzenthaler stood up there by Allaire. Sent the other way by Wachusett. Bennett fighting for it with Bayless, and Ritzenthaler recovers. Pass gets to Ricky Ace. Ace shuffles it along as Brookline commits to a forward line change. And Wachusett commits icing Well, Brookline was in the midst of a line change there, so Brookline getting a bit of a gift there. We'll have a face-off in the Mountaineers' end. Off the face-off, it's taken by Wachusett. Breaking through with it, and Hoadley could not get the pass off, but Young couldn't clear it. Shot from Ombach, deflected wide. Recovered by Lucas Brousseau. In the corner, Marrero sends it around. Suberwall stopped there, but recovers the puck himself. Trying to move it through the neutral zone. Puck's knocked back to the Brookline end. Easton Slavin lifts it up, and that is going to be a high stick called on Alejandro Marrero. Now it's a high stick on the puck, not on a player, so it's not a penalty, but it is going to bring the puck back to the Brookline end for a defensive zone face-off with 6:40 to go. Off the face-off, it's sent around. Hard shot into the boards as Lacey moves it up. Gets out to the neutral zone. Boyce takes it. Pass across Carlson. Carlson sends it into the Brookline end, taken by Rauto. Rauto looking, lifts it up ice. Sent back to the neutral zone by Wachusett. Dumped into the Brookline end. Now up against the boards. Melton. Blocked there. Pass gets through. Shot stopped by Beck that time. Shot there from number 20, who also wasn't on the Mass HS Hockey roster that I wrote down for this game. Go figure. 5:45 to go. Wachusett leads Brookline 6-2. Off the face-off, Ritzenthaler pushes it up to Ace. Ace manages to send it into the Wachusett end. Sent around the boards by O'Keefe, gets to 20, who kicks it along. Skating through the neutral zone now, number 25. Around the back it goes. Sheridan fighting for it for Brookline. Gets it out to the neutral area. Wachusett takes it back. 25 dumps it in as Wachusett looks like they're starting a line change. Melton's pass intercepted. Cody Penniman stopped at point-blank range by Jungwoo Beck. Brookline still trying to move it out, but taking back Laidlaw pass, and that one is knocked in. I think it was Cody Penniman. Or was that Flaherty again? That might have been the fourth goal for Ryan Flaherty. I'm not sure. The Wachusett forward line could just sort of do what they wanted, passing that puck around on that play. And they take a 7-2 lead. Face-off won by Wachusett. Bennett sends it across. This pass goes up. That one misses Laidlaw, but no icing as it goes around. Flaherty pass intercepted by Suberwall. Suberwall taking it the other way. Suberwall lost it. Recovered, pushed forward by Marrero. Broken up. Young trying to recover. Young does recover. Knocked away from him. Marrero sends it down and around. Recovered by Nordahl. Sends it across. And now Wachusett racing the other way. Trying to split the defenders. No dice there. And it's going to be a tripping penalty against Brookline as they took, I think, Penniman off his feet. And it'll be a power play for Wachusett, as actually I think that was Flaherty who got tripped up that time. And it'll be a penalty served by Vivon Suberwall. Some visible frustration there. Off the face-off, Platt sends it around the back. Wachusett back on the power play here, leading by 5. Bennett across. Pass over to Carlson. Back to Bennett. Almost lost it across the blue line, but they keep it in the attack end. Carlson lost it, and Lacey clears it out. Bennett chasing after it. Lacey in there to take it himself. Lacey pass back. Kate, the one-timer goes wide. Brookline attacking on the shorthand here, but just couldn't capitalize that time. Now being raced the other way and whipped into the Brookline end there by Jake Penniman. Pinned to the boards now. And it's taken by Wachusett. Pass disrupted, and the shot disrupted both by Owen Lacey defensively. Cody Penniman coming around the back. Back to the blue line to Laidlaw, up to Penniman. Back to Laidlaw again. Laidlaw, long shot. I think that ricocheted off the mask of Jungwoo Beck that time. This one passed back, Laidlaw in the corner, back to the blue line. Weaving around, pass down, one-timer saved by Beck as he stops the shot from Boyce. Flaherty sends it across, and we've got, I think, a penalty against Wachusett, maybe? What do they call, interference? They call a penalty on Aiden Boyce this time, and we're going to have 4-on-4 action for the next 22 seconds. And then we'll have a power play for 1:38 for Brookline. Things getting wild here in the closing minutes of the season for the Warriors here. Face off corralled by Valey. Valey pass to Matt Brousseau. Gains the blue line, dumps it back to Flaherty. Flaherty trying to weave through, blocked there, taken by Lacey. Pass up to Toe. Toe lifting it into the Wachusett end. And now a power play starts for Brookline. As the pass goes back to Melton. Ricochet misses Suberwall. Brousseau clears it out. Brookline still has 1.5 minutes on this penalty clock here to try and generate some offense. Toe long pass up, broken up, but recovered by Marrero. Marrero leaves it back for Toe. Toe gives to Melton. Melton pursued, pass, a bit of miscommunication there, but Melton recovers, but pinned to the boards, taken away by Flaherty. Flaherty weaving around. Flaherty scores on the shorthand. Ryan Flaherty having himself a ridiculous game. That's either 4 or 5 goals for him today, as Wachusett now leads 8-2. After that goal, we go back on the power play for Brookline. Just under a minute left as Brookline just kind of got discombobulated on the transition play there. Young now skating up with it. Young pass misses. Recovered in the corner by Sheridan. Sent around the back. Young couldn't keep it. Sheridan sends it down around the back. Colby Mills chased it down, but intercepted there at the blue line by Melton. Pass from Sheridan, blocked, trying to get it into the slot there. Dumped into the Brookline end by Luke Curton. Sent around the back by Brookline. Just 10 seconds left on the power play, as Brookline won't be able to score on this one. 30 seconds left in the season for Brookline as they trail by 6. And a penalty is going to be called on Wachusett as they took Melton to the ground there. And so Brookline will spend the last 26 seconds of their season on the advantage. Maybe they can get one last goal in before the season ends. And that's going to be a hooking call against Luke Curton, number 22. Face-off won by Brookline. Melton pass to the point. Waylon Slavin looking for the shot. Deflects wide of the net. Long clear by Wachusett. And that will all but end the season. Just 10 seconds left. Slavin leaving it around the back. Brookline doesn't have time for that. And that is how the season is going to end. Lacey couldn't get one last shot off. Oh! A hard extra shot from Vivon Subberwall. Don't like that. I understand it's a blowout loss and it's the end of the season. It's the end of your career. I don't care. I still don't like that. That wasn't good. That's a bad note for the season to end on, unfortunately. The final score here at Walter Brown Arena, the Wachusett Mountaineers 8, the Brookline Warriors 2. The Mountaineers take full advantage of a Brookline team playing with their backup goalie and light him up for 8 goals. Ryan Flaherty having one heck of a game with 4 or 5 goals, I think. I think he had 5 goals throughout that one. Tremendous game for him. The other goals from Wachusett coming from Matt Brousseau and Ethan Bennett. And I'm even just trying to remember, was the last one Aiden Boyce? For Brookline, they at least avoid the shutout. They get 2 goals in the second period, 1 on the shorthand from Corey Toe, and 1 from senior Aton Kate in the last game of his high school hockey career, as the Brookline faithful giving a round of applause to the 2025-26 Brookline High boys hockey team, as this one will bring their season to an end. They would have needed a really good performance here tonight if they wanted to jump up 2 spots in the power rankings and make it to the state tournament, and a 6-goal loss is not going to do it. The Mountaineers, meanwhile, will improve to 16-1-1 on the season, and a high margin of victory here might help them move a little bit further up in the power rankings and help guarantee a home playoff game in the round of 32. Brookline, meanwhile, will finish their season with a final record of 5 wins, 13 losses, and 2 ties. It's been an up-and-down season for Brookline in their first year under coach Mark Marfione. Brookline was starting to find some offensive rhythm towards the end of the season, but an unfortunate injury to their goalie kind of put a damper on what they might have been able to do competitively in their last few games. And it showed in the final scores. But plenty to build on for next season. Well, that's going to do it for this game, this broadcast, and this season. I want to thank the Brookline High boys hockey team head coach Mark Marfione, the boosters and parents from the Friends of BHS Hockey Booster Club for bringing me back once again for another season of Brookline High Boys Hockey. It's always a privilege and a pleasure to get to cover these games, and glad I got to do it again this year. I want to once again thank our local sponsor for this game and for a number of games this winter, Brookline Proven, your local source for home improvement contractors. BHS Sports parent Paul Hom and his team can do anything from remodels to handyman honeydew lists to snow and ice removal here in these colder winter months. They live in Brookline, they work in Brookline, and they know just what a Brookline home needs. You can see on the screen there, visit brklnproven.com or text Paul at 617-352-8829 to find out more and discuss the scheduling, pricing, and specifics of the services your home needs. Once again, that's brklnproven.com or text 617-352-8829. And thank you again to Brookline Proven for sponsoring this broadcast and for sponsoring a number of broadcasts throughout this winter season. You can see their information down in the description section of this video, as well as the link to the official Venmo account of the Friends of BHS Hockey Booster Club, and the link and phone number for our local charity spotlight, the Brookline Community Foundation. Lots of local entities that are certainly worth supporting here in this Brookline sports community. And then finally, I want to give some last shout-outs to the Brookline High senior class of 2026. Jung-Woo Beck, the backup goalie. I know it was a rough game today, and it was a rough game against Framingham, but you know what? He can always hold his head up high for that performance he did in emergency relief of Evan Gerber against Newton North. That's a game he can always hang his hat on, you know, as a nice moment in his career. Vivon Suberwall, you know, again, his career didn't end on the brightest of notes. That last late hit, like I said, I didn't particularly like that, but like I said before the game, I do like, you know, a guy who builds his way up, you know, continues to show up to games and practices, you know, regardless of how little or how much playing time he's getting. And Suberwall built his way up to a more regular spot in Brookline's rotation over the years. You know, and while I don't like that last moment, I don't think that defines him. I don't think that defines him at all. And then Greg Eptekman, a guy who, you know, like I said before the game, built his way up from a guy whose name I would see at the top of the roster but didn't get much playing time, to a guy who was a reliable bottom six forward, you know, a fighter and a scrapper, didn't light up the score sheet, but put in tremendous effort and physicality, you know, whenever his line was called upon, to then this year as, you know, one of the primary offensive pieces for Brookline and a fantastic transition player who really, you know, took his game to the next level, you know, and really improving his stick skills and his speed to go along with his physicality to turn him into one of the stronger transition guys on this team. I love when I get to see, you know, guys improve and add to their skills over the course of their career. It's such a joy for me, you know, getting to see, you know, guys that really grow to a point that I can almost like analyze the growth of them. It, you know, it really tells a story about how far the young man's come along. Eitan Kate, a versatile player over the last 3 years for Brookline, you know, going from a depth piece on the forward lines his first year in varsity to then a guy who could play forward or defense his last 2 years, a great versatile piece, and got to score in his senior night game. You know, he had a number of great goals this year, a number of great defensive plays as well. Plenty of highlights throughout his career to hang his hat on. Hats off to Eitan Kate. And then the captain, Owen Lacey. Owen Lacey was asked to be the sole captain this year for a team looking to build after graduating 8 players, including 3 co-captains both of their starting goalies, you know, most of their top 6 forwards. I think Lacey was the only, was one of just 2 top 6 forwards, one of 2 or 3 top 6 forwards to come back this year for Brookline. And again, under a first-year head coach. And Lacey, you know, he was a great leader, a class act throughout the season. Came through clutch a number of times this year for Brookline. He's got a number of big highlight-worthy scores that he'll be able to look back on fondly from this season. His game winner in the comeback win over Lincoln Sudbury. His 2 goals in that win over Newton North last week. His last game against the rival Newton North, and he stood tall in that one. And, you know, just earning that captaincy, he can look at that C on his jersey and know that he earned it. One last note in the live chat from Steve Sheridan. Jesse, thank you so much for another enjoyable year. You do a great job. Thank you so much, Steve. And thank you to all of you, the fans, for tuning in throughout this season. Love you guys. Love all the positive notes you've been given throughout this year. And I hope you've enjoyed the games as much as I've enjoyed bringing them to you. But that's going to do it. Wachusett 8, Brookline 2. From Walter Brown Arena on the campus of Boston University in Boston, Massachusetts. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. Thank you all for watching. And thank you for a great season, Brookline High Boys Hockey. See you next year.